Hey everybody, this is Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. As probably all of you know, I think I have one or two new subscribers, so hello, and just so you know who I am, I'm in my dining room this morning, and I love Saturday mornings. It's just the best because I don't have to get up and get to my work desk, as in real job. Um, I work for a hospital, so I'm able to work at home with what I do. And then in my off time, my free time, I love to make journals and work with paper and fabric, and I sell those things in my Etsy shop. Just thought I would speak to everyone for a minute before I share this week's nature vlog and a boho bird journal that I finished, and that is it's been in the mail, so hopefully she will receive it soon. But I did want to share that video today and just say it's been a crazy week. I feel very fortunate with the way things turned out, but almost a week ago, last weekend on Sunday, my ex-husband and friend and father of my 4 children was in a terrible car accident. He went to sleep driving on the way back from a beach trip and went off the road, and of course woke up and came back on and went into some trees. And it is a miracle that he is alive. I'm glad he's alive. My children need their dad, and they're doing a really good job of taking care of him. He has 5 fractures in his back and lots of abrasions. And anyway, that's kind of kept me busy this week. Even though I care very much about what happens to him, I'm not in the center of his life anymore. And my kids, they have been leaning on me this week, and I've been leaning on them, and we've talked a lot. And I've encouraged them that just take it one day at a time, and just love him and take care of him the best you can. But it's hard to be a nurse when you're very young and you're caring for a parent, and they are still young. My youngest is 19, so it's a kind of a balance right now of figuring out how to handle all of this. But he's recovering, and that's just kept me busy this week. My job has been very busy. And last night I went to practice guitar with a girlfriend who I met probably a year ago, and we instantly hit it off. We both are just kind of new to music, although she's amazing. She's already put a band together and she's out playing, and I'm really proud of her. But we've always felt like we would like to get together and sing together. And we started that last night, and she has the most beautiful red husky. This dog is just gorgeous. The dog has got 2 different color eyes, and they're just breathtaking. The colors, and that with the beautiful red coat, just a gorgeous, gorgeous dog. So I enjoyed that last night, and it was really nice to get a break from paper town, from paper dining room, and just focus on my music again, because I had been kind of letting that slip into the background, and that's not something that I want to let happen. Anyway, I'm going to quit rambling. I just wanted to speak this morning before I upload this video, and I've got a queue of listings and videos and journals and gifts that need to be shared. It's so wonderful when someone does something nice for you, and I want to say thank you. It's just been a busy week, so I look at today and I think, oh, it's Saturday, I'm going to get so much done, but I know how quickly this day is going to go by, and I'll do as much as I can and just leave the rest for the next day. So I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. I'll see you next time. Bye. Yes, my crows were back this past week, and I was so happy to see them. I love the one that sits with its mouth open all the time. I'm really used to seeing a couple of crows that look the same size to me, but the one on the right looks a lot larger. I love the way it moves around to be next to the other crow. I don't really know enough yet to identify each one, but I wonder if the smaller one is a different one from the other that I'm used to seeing here. So the bigger one hangs around for a while. Maybe I'm just flattering myself, but I really wondered if it was looking for me to bring out a snack. I love the way it's playing in the water. And I wanted to share a recent boho bird journal that was made for a customer. This is already gone out, but I wanted to share a video of the journal so that I would have it for a record, and I thought everybody might like to see this one. I thought it turned out really pretty. So you can see my cover, as usual, is embellished with a bird, some beautiful trim. I think that trim came from Ava, and I have a little bit left. I love this. I think it's just beautiful. And there are a couple of charms. This bead is also from Ava, the little owl, and that is one of the, I love to tie the strings through the center of the journal and put a little charm on. And then this is a bead that came from Ava as well, and that is on the string that actually, or the embroidery thread that was actually used to tie the signature into the book. There's some vintage lace on top of the this beautiful tapestry style trim that Ava sent me. And this fabric on the front, it's just some fabric I had. I love this. I love the bright flowers, and it also has the look sort of a tapestry as well. But getting into it, it's a very similar to the other bird journals that I have done. And once again, Ava, you have given me so many gorgeous things. I couldn't help but put one of the little birds in this journal as a charm. And I have another one that I'm saving for me, but thank you again so much. I have enjoyed everything you sent me. And I'm happy to be able to share a few pieces in this journal. I have the stamped cloth in the front, the little stamped piece of muslin that says Boho Birds. And this is a tag that I made from one of the digitals that I designed. The very first page is a very old calendar page. It is from, I think, the 60s or the 50s. I did sew onto the other side an old book image that was in black and white. And here is another digital download that I have. These may be in my shop. I'm not sure. I need to check. But Betty, don't laugh at me. I was using my rotary cutter to cut a piece of fabric, and I did not realize that a vintage postcard was underneath. So I sliced the end of a postcard off, but at least it wasn't my finger. I should knock on wood. But anyway, it ended up being kind of a happy accident because I love this little piece of vintage postcard, and it's got part of the message. I think it says, "My cousin, well, how are you at present? We," and then I can't read the rest. I think we'd really something. Anyway, I love it. It's just perfect. And then this is a page from Daphne's diary, I think, with some beautiful fabric on the edge. And I got to show you this charm. I recently came across a beautiful necklace for $3, and it was loaded with beads and charms. And oh my goodness, look at this beautiful, beautiful bee. Isn't it just gorgeous? I love that. I put several of those into this journal. And then there is a little printable from my shop. This is from a vintage botanical book about flowers. There's a little owl that I cut out of a jewelry book, I think. And of course, just as the others, this journal has pages from information books about birds, and there are the printables that I have that I created for myself to, you know, keep up with your own data about the birds that you see. And again, just a lot of information on every page about birds, a lot of beautiful images, and you can't really see the duck. You can see just the duck's head on this page from a children's book. But I just liked those bright colors. And this is a page from Nick the Booksmith and her beautiful, beautiful eco style, the eco dyed papers that she has in her shop. And there is one of the digitals from my shop. I love that. I called it Let's Go Birding, and this little boy about to jump on his bicycle is perfect for that. And there's some old ledger paper. So I was out recently and found a book with some vintage postcards, and these are cards. I had not heard of these. These are from 1984. Erte, E-R-T-E, from Erte Postcards in Full Color, 1984 by Seven Arts Limited. So it says costume design by Erte for a parrot in the ballet Paradise, which is so cool. How awesome is it that we have a parrot costume for this journal? And of course, birds love their insects. So there are some insects incorporated in here. There's one of the vintage leaves, and a little bird eating out of a hand there. I think that's a black-capped chickadee. And just some beautiful scrapbook paper. There is room to write. I love to take fine-tip Sharpies to write on paper that, you know, maybe you typically wouldn't write on. And of course there had to be a lady with a feather in her hat. And in this case, 3 of them, or 5 of them. And here's one of the beautiful pages with the tile design. And I love this. This is an illustration from a poster that I purchased especially for my boho bird journals, and it was just full of vintage illustrations, so I cut each bird out and used them in the journals. I've left a lot of the strings because it makes me think of a bird's nest. And then there's a song called Wild Goose Chase, and another bird page. And this is beautiful scrapbook paper. I love this. The bird was cut out from Daphne's diary. And then this is a little piece from an Indian garment that I had, and I just loved the bright orange fabric and the little buttons that were on it. So I tried to do that in a way that I could keep the buttons and you know, not have them get in the way of the pages. And there's an owl. So more pretty scrapbook paper. And I love this. This is from an old day book by Avon. And I think this book was from the 80s. And I just love that image of the ladies feeding the, I guess, the ducks and the geese. And here we are. This is a page that I made from some downloads from Digital Curio. And I just love these butterflies. I think they're so pretty. And Lindsay Zanor actually mentioned this, so I went and downloaded them. So Lindsay, I really appreciate you sharing that information. It makes a beautiful page. Here is another one of the charms from that bracelet, or necklace, I mean. And it's just, oh, so pretty. I love all these. And this is a handwritten note from the packet of information I found a while back, where someone was making a quilt, a bird quilt, and they had documented all the things about the birds they were going to put into that quilt. And then just a little bird identification page. There's an old part of a print that had woodpeckers on it. And just more pretty paper. There is a pocket that I've glued one of the little flower fairies onto, and another information page, and then a card to take notes in. And just more pretty pages. There's one of the old roses, and there we have a page of blue finches. And then this is one of the digitals that I have in my personal collection. I don't put this one in my shop because it has the postage stamps, so I don't want to sell these. I'm not sure that I can sell postage stamps, even though they're very vintage and way out of probably circulation and copyright. And then I love this center image. Of course, the string goes right across her face, but that is fine. To me, it just adds to the intrigue. And that, I believe, too, is from a Daphne's Diary from last year. More pretty pages. I love this fabric with the chickens. So I used that to make a pocket. And there is a picture of accidental seabirds. And one of my postcards that I did. I love this fabric because it has the feathers on it. You can kind of see that that's a feather. It's more and more pretty pages. And I love this page. I love all of the yellow. There's another little flower fairy. And of course it had to be a page of bright yellow birds for this particular journal page. And here is another one of the little charms. Let me see if I can pull this one out so you can see it. It almost looks like little leaves or little cherries or something. Maybe little leaves. It's not quite round enough to be cherries, but it does have kind of the look of berries with the color and everything. And then that was the other part of that page that was written about the quilt. And of course, Digital Curio. Isn't that beautiful? And there's another bird from Daphne's Diary that I just put in this one. And there is a little page from a book of art. And I love the way she's looking across at the little birds. So that's just put in with washi tape onto this page. There's more of Nick's beautiful work. More of the owls. The other ID, or that might be, this might have been from like a children's encyclopedia. I can't remember, or it could have been from one of the bird books I have. That might have been from the book about feeding birds. And then here is one of my little digitals, Feather Your Nest, an old, very old piece of music, and another vintage leaf. And here is another one of those charms. You can just see how gorgeous that is. So I was very happy to find that. That's a really fun thing to do. Just look for old jewelry, and it's so easy to take. I was going to see if I could find some of the other charms to show you. It's easy to take the charms off. So I still have this big flower to put onto the cover of a journal, as well as this one. And there's another little flying creature, looks like a bee of some kind, and 2 more flowers. Aren't they beautiful? I love these. Really happy to find those. And let's see, getting closer and closer to the end. That is another one of those old calendar pages. And this time I left this side intact. This is 1961, I believe. So I was 2 years away from being born at that time. And this is a page about the structure of a bird's egg. And another little flower fairy. She's with the violets. And this is definitely from a children's book. Just lots of information, lots of places to write and take notes, and pockets and little tuck spots where you can put things. These are the way I do the boho bird journals. And again, I keep a standing order in the shop for these. If anyone is interested, they're only $45, and that is a really good deal actually, because I put a lot of work into these. I love making these, so it's a joy to do these. I think that's a little, oh, I was going to say Daphne's Diary, but I'm not sure. That might have been from, I'm not sure. There's one of the tags that I made not too long ago in one of the tutorials that I did. And I love this bright fabric for the trim there. And then getting to the back, there's my little fabric tag that says Birdsong. And there's the old image from my collection. And a really pretty card with an actual photograph on the front of a hummingbird. And that is that whole journal. I think it's really pretty. I love the way it turned out. And I really appreciate you watching. Thank you for sharing some time with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.